I think you gotta come. Yeah. Good morning to you. Look, the birds are chirping. Ooh, 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 ooh. Good morning to you.
How y'all doing this morning? It is Labor Day. Happy Labor Day. Is it a happy Labor Day?
Like, I mean, depending on what you laboring for.
Correct.
No, it's a happy Labor Day.
It's a happy Labor Day. Like, what are we celebrating our labor?
No labor. There's no reward.
No labor, no reward. So we're celebrating our labor. The labor we've been doing.
The labor of love, the labor of life, the labor. I guess we could actually look up.
You know, because some of these holidays.
Look it up on your phone.
Because you know, some of these holidays be like,
let's get, because you know I'm going to get my old Soul Sage doctor spin on labor. You can see it.
You already know.
What have you labored for to birth, right? So I'm going somewhere else, but we can start from scratch.
Labor Day meeting. Okay. As labor unions and activists advocated and they advocated and they fought for better treatment for workers at the height of the Industrial Revolution. All right. The idea arose to establish a day dedicated to celebrating the members of trade and labor unions. See, you got to fight for your right. See, it's always somebody had to fight for something, so they dedicate a day when something occurs. So, Labor Day. Look, ain't they striking now? The actors and actresses for fair wages.
Yeah,
for fair
for their labor,
for their acting.
Now making millions and millions of dollars, and we are creating content which is keeping people infused.
Wow,
and you know, right and now, like you say, now it's about you giving people their due for their contribution, right? What you labor for, right? Because after you labor, you get to keep the baby. They can't take it. It's rightfully yours. When you labor for something, it becomes yours. It is yours. You grew it. You took care of it. You nurtured it, right? Labor is that last step.
You produced it.
Right. You created it. It was yours. It was your content. It was your actions. It was your work.
Your blood, sweat, and tears.
Was your motion in the ocean?
Oh, Lord.
It was all of the things. That's the most important thing. God said, be fruitful and multiply. So without the motion in the oceans, none of us could be here today. Okay, so let's keep it real now. That was the first labor, right? Because before, EVE ate the apple, their labor wasn't even pain. That's why, when God was looking at Adam, like, oh my God, he didn't say I need to get him some help out here. He needed a help mate, and the help mate was the mate part. When something mates with something, right? It is it's a mate. It's a blow up situation. Is when two people submerge, right? When people talk about submission, it is to go under on one mission, to go underneath the water, to go through all pressures, to get to wellness. Because a submarine, it puts you in this capsule to take you under, right? And so people be offended when you be like, oh, you have to submit in marriage, but it's like both people submit one to the other because you're going on the same mission to go under, because remember, we understand.
Go somewhere, period.
But we understand that to be well is to go down deep, right? To get a well, you have to dig deep for that water. You have to dig deep for that experience. So it goes back to saying we didn't have to, there was no labor pains before, they ate the apple, right? It just, this was a part of the punishment that you would feel thing, and he would work his hands to the bone, Adam, and woman would go through labor, right? Because before it was just easy. And you know why it was easy? Because comparison is the thief to gratefulness. Before they ate from the tree of evil, they had nothing. They didn't compare nothing. They was just grateful for everything they had. And the moment they ate from the tree of evil, that's when comparison became the now statue of which you govern yourself. So now what you have isn't good enough because of what they had. But what you had was enough until you got exposed till you got exposed to how much better something could be, or the comparison of what somebody else has. So yeah, the other grass, honey.
Grass green.
But they forgot you had to water that bad boy too.
Correct.
So
you got to water your own darn grass.
Yeah.
Looking over there.
You looking at that grass, but somebody's taking care of it. You watching the way
labor. You watching the lady having labor over there. That beautiful baby.
And you know why you thought it was so easy, that grass? Because you wasn't up when you supposed to get up to water it, right before that sunrise. That's that early bird catches the worm. The reason why you just thought that grass just looked beautiful like that, because you were sleeping when they were up at 6 a.m. putting out the water and doing all of that tilling, and you were sleeping. So when you woke up, it just looked like nothing was going on. But then you like, why did grass so green? Because when you sleeping, they taking care of their
They tending to their grass.
Tending to their garden.
Tending,
you know? That's when that stuff will go. So at the end of the day, you are comparing because you are not actually following the steps required. You haven't asked, well, how did you get your grass that green? Your assumptions, when we assume, we make an ass out of you and me. So again, we say laboring is to go through the pain of birthing what it is that you desire, what it is that you created, what it is that you require, whatever that is. Good morning, Author L. Good morning to you. The birds are chirping. Ooh, 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 ooh. Good morning to you.
Hey, girl.
What is the topic? You got that up there? We got to share it. Share it because
hope everybody is doing well.
You know, when I'm writing the topic, I'll be like, close my eyes, boo, boo, boo. This is the name. So I can never remember what it is that we writing about. We'll be talking about without looking at it. But I think it is, what have you labored to birth or something like that.
And I'm going to be sharing it on my page.
Yes. Share. We won't be here longer than 30 minutes. We're gonna have a quick labor
what
today.
Have you labored?
There ain't gonna be no 12-hour labor. We're gonna have this the fifth kid. We put some out like, better catch it. And because you realize and even that's so funny, the more you labor, the quicker the process, right? So most people will be like, my first kid with this 2 days, my second kid, so I was like, okay, my first kid was like, 12 hours. And then my next kid was 2 weeks early, and she was like half the time. And then my third kid, honey, they couldn't even break down the bed. The doctor came in, caught her to bed, and by the twins, they were 5 minutes apart and they were twins. So it was like, she got a hold and she about to have. So I went to the doctor and she's like, she's 5 centimeters while she's walking around. Take her to the hospital. They could have very well fell out at Walmart.
Not at Walmart, on aisle 5.
Trying to get the last few stuff because
we got 2 babies on aisle 5.
One thing about going into labor, it puts you in this preparation energy that you don't even know, right? So I'm 5 centimeters because I'm got this burst of energy to get this stuff that I need because I'm running out of time. No, not realizing that the time is today. But that's just to say you get that adrenaline, that's your internal clock, right? So we're all operating on something so much bigger than us, right? And that's why I call it God, you call it what you will, but it's just this feeling of it's bigger than you. Because when all things come together after all is said and done, you're like, wow. That begot that, that begot that, right? Everything begins. That's why it's a relay race and somebody's relying on you because one labor begets a birth that allows somebody else to go into labor to give birth. So the question is, are you spiritually fertile?
Are you spiritually fertile? Hold up.
Are you spiritually fertile is the question, Because people plant seeds all day long.
Another contraction.
Come on now.
Whoop, there it is.
To be spiritually fertile is to be able to give birth to new levels of yourself, right? Coming in contact with somebody, and once they plant seed, you receive it, and then next thing you know, you're growing an idea. That's why people confirm and not deny, right? And so confirmation means that Houston, we have a taker.
Houston, we have a baby. Once that seed get planted, you come into fruition like, Houston, Molly, you in danger.
Molly, you in danger, girl.
Girl, we having a baby, girl. Your body go through all these things, and you like, yep.
So I know that feeling. You in danger, girl.
Girl, the seed has been planted. Girl, we have growing a baby.
I reckon something's coming out soon.
I reckon it's almost time. Now, how much time? One never knows.
But even in the concept of what labor really means, right? It means to kind of like go through in order to get the results of what you demand, right?
Do something to get something.
Got to do something to get something.
Got to put that work in. Got the labor. So yes, the day of celebrating your efforts of labor. Of what you put into the world, what you put into birth, that thing that got birthed. So you put in the work, and now we celebrating the work you put in.
Yeah.
Across the world, Craig. The world, Craig. So yes, right, let me share. What have you labored?
That was
the question.
Let me bring it up. Oh no, it's still here.
What have you? Oh,
yeah, I'm gonna share.
What have you labored to birth? But on another note, we had a wonderful, wonderful weekend.
Yes.
We went to New York to celebrate the life of our Uncle Jamesy, honey. And when I say celebrate the life, we came to celebrate, and we celebrated his life. So it was great to see him out. Mm-hmm. And it was great to see family that we haven't seen in a long, long time. So we get to see New York. We had our Friday. We had some food. We had fun with family. I mean, a whole full fun day with family that created memories,
that will last forever.
That you will always remember. And so that's what life is all about. So
shout out to our cousin Shawnee.
Oh, it was. We ain't gonna talk
shout out. We ain't gonna talk about all that, but we had a good time.
We thoroughly enjoyed. We gotta hang out.
We always hung out as the little annoying kids, and now we're like the 40-year-olds hanging out with our older cousin. It was just like, I've missed family. And you know what? And I just want to say, that's what the Bryant thing was all about. Like my grandma came from a large family. It was 13 of them. And my grandma had 9 kids. And there's so many of us that are first cousins that, through life, we got to hang out. And then we, life happens. We move away, and we don't get to just continue to nurture what got started. So, but to just find time to sit around and laugh and joke. Oh my God, we played Bonanza.
Yes,
we played poker. Oh, like it was so much fun sitting outside with the little.
Was fun, but what I think I enjoy so much is, sometimes you get stuck in the little stages, but when you get older and everybody's older, you get to be. We're all just grown adults.
Yeah,
and that side of it is just so splendid.
Not splendid. That's what it was. It was splendid.
Cause it's like we're not little kids anymore.
Yeah.
We could curse around each other. It's like you're not to be disrespectful or anything.
No, absolutely.
But we're cool because we get to see that side of
who
them
you
as well.
Yeah.
And you get to see who I am
as well.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not this little child anymore. I'm a grown adult, and we adulting now. So you get to see a whole different side of the person you never know.
Yeah.
So I think for me, I enjoy that more than anything. Really getting to really know them.
Even the young generation, because Janine was there with us.
Yeah.
And she used to be the baby.
So it's like
Deneen was born when I was 16, and it's like, oh my gosh, she's 27. Like, what in the world?
Even talking about certain things or having a conversation, you be like, you can't say that, or you can't. No, just be you.
Right, and you be like, oops.
Yeah.
And nobody's like clutching my pearl. I'm like, oh my God.
We all just
so
laughing, and it's so freeing, and it's like, yeah, where we going now, y'all? We need to plan a trip, because, like, you know, it is so, like, yeah. Because, we're all getting older, because we're in, like, our 40s now. Yeah. So we, like, in our 30s or, you know, late 20s, 30s. We're, like, in our 40s. So when you start getting towards them 50s, it's like, all right, y'all, we got to start doing stuff together so that our kids could know each other, because we know each other. Our kids should know each other like we knew each other. Part. And it's like, kids have kids, and then you're like, whose son is that? Who's doing it? You know, so the generation keep moving.
There's
and growing.
So many of us.
Everybody putting in the work, planting seeds. And so the produce need to know each other. Know who begot who. So Wonder, good morning, my dear friends. Okay, good morning. Now, who is that? Now, this is a new name. Now, this is the thing, too. When we was there, we realized and found out how many of our family members watched us.
And we had no idea.
So now, I've never seen that name. So who is that?
I don't know, but hello, Wonder, and thank you for saying good morning.
Good morning
to you. Because that was so much fun. Like, I mean,
refreshing.
I was talking to Michelle. She was like, yes, I'm like, you watch a show. Like, everybody it was just such an amazing
it was
experience to know that we're not just talking to ourselves in the mornings. Like,
I mean, even though we can, because we do it anyway, but you know, the whole concept was we do this anyway, right? So let's just go live and welcome y'all into our conversation so that we can all have some coffee and conversations, right? We might have a topic sometimes we don't, but we got so many things we can talk about. And so that's why we want y'all to join us in the conversation, because we're not just here by ourselves anymore. Yeah. We opened it up so that we could, you know, invite y'all into our kitchen with our coffee and conversations.
And I'm sure everybody
our perspective on things as well.
That part.
So, you know, hello.
And I want us to understand that the most essential thing, the thing about being spiritually fertile, is the seeds that we plant, right? Because God created the whole world with just words. And so I believe, you know, vision are the words behind your eyes, right? And you being able to walk it out is faith walk, right? Freedom after insight to higher self. So when you are faithful over the vision, you become a creator. And so when we talk about laboring and we talk about us having coffee and conversations, is just saying, you know, us even think about the coffee shop conversations, right? We're just, you're in a space, in a place where you get to read or you get to share perspectives in order to relate so the ship can move and you can no longer be anchored in your understanding, how much it grows you, how much it, you know, just levels you up in just your ability to see other people outside of you and be open to understanding that people think different according to how they were raised, according to what they seen, what they were a part of, who they got to hang out with, right? And so that's the name of the game. The name is what is it? What, you know, what do you offer? What conversations are you having in your downtime that are actually inspiring, influencing, right? Holding people accountable, holding you accountable, right? How many conversations did you have that made you stop in those moments and really be clear about how you can move? Because now you have a different way of doing things, a different way of seeing things, right? Not taking it personal, but taking it process. And when we can do that, oh my God, we make the difference. So yeah. So Wonder, good morning to you. The birds are chirping, just so that you know.
And another thing that's in my head is like when I read that definition, it was right. Or when you hit words, right? We talking about words. Just follow me for a second. When I read the definition, it was saying organizations, labor unions, right? Groups. All of those says to me that when you're laboring, you're working towards something. And for me, it's like we could get so much more further together, unity, organization, right? It ain't one person. So when you look around and you look at family, everybody's doing something, but it's not that it's gonna take you longer, but if we was to come together, organized and unity, do you know where we could be, how much further we could be, what we can produce from all of our labor? It's like, wow, man. I mean, yeah, it goes a little deeper. But yeah, it's like we all got to get out of our own way to really have a common goal to birth one at a time. Like, you know what I mean? There's strength in numbers. There's no thing that gets done by one person. You got to have strength in numbers, right? In order for things to get accomplished, there's a team. There's a unity of an organization team. Organization takes groups of people, not just one person. So, yeah, we're celebrating Labor Day. We spending money. We barbecuing. We doing this. But if we all took that money, like, we got to start really, what are we doing with our money? Like, we using these holidays and we're like, okay, you know how much money it takes to grill? I mean, now everybody brings something. Yeah. Everybody brings something. Here then we go. Have a feast. It takes a group of people to make together. Something happen, to make something birth, right? So when you take that same concept and you start applying it to business, right? Where could you be? It's just like, yeah, it's really time to, I'm not saying stop wasting money, because, I mean, what everybody is opinionated on waste. But what's waste for you might not be waste for me. What's waste? But I'm just saying, like, really making your money count for something that you could birth.
And it's going back into the idea of the labor of birthing the dream. And when you think about how many people you get to help you birth the baby, right? So you have the doctors. Now, when I was pregnant with twins, because sometimes you got dream ADD, such as myself, so you're birthing different things at the same time, right? I birthed twins before. I know that it is possible. Some people have triplets, right? So that's you birth them, but then the team around you, right? The more things that I began to birth at one time, the bigger the team became. So I had to see a specialist when I got pregnant with twins. And I also had to see my regular doctor, right? Then I had to, watch all of these different extra things. Some people go with doulas, right? Some people have, and then you have, my auntie came in and helped me with the first 2 weeks. So I'm talking about the team. If we know that spirit imitates life, the team that is required to labor, right? When you're in labor, that is the most intense time. And the people are waiting and they're sitting around and they're rubbing you and they're supporting you and they're trying to figure out how can we ease the pain so that you can give birth. And I think sometimes we have to be honest with when we're in the labor moment, right? Because even when I think about harvest time, right? It's so simple to plant a tree and just water it. That's the easy part, right? But when that tree, it goes into full bloom and you have a certain period of time to package it and get the stuff out and all of that, that labor time, that pulling, that going, that's that hard part. And so it's better when you have other people helping you throughout the labor so that they can make it a little bit more comfortable for you to push past the pain into the power. And so maybe we should spend time creating a team around us when we're trying to birth a dream. That's why I'm a good soul doctor for that, right? When you're trying to birth those things, you need to have people in position who have labored, who knows how to operate on your mindset, who knows how to help you get the tools you need around you, right? Somebody who has the time, because a doctor don't have as much time as a nurse. And the nurse don't have as much time as the doula. But all of those people are important on that team for when in the order. So the nurse is there all up in time, the time when it's time for the doctor to come in and do the magic, right? To make sure that I'm at the highest level of understanding. So there's not too many things that can knock me off. The nurse has seen enough, but not as much, right? And then the doula is all on the emotional, spiritual, let's connect type of side, right? So it's levels to birth in a dream, just like it's levels to birth in children. It's levels to birth in a singular passage outside of multiple births, right? So the question is, what are you laboring in? What is the dream that you're laboring for? What type of community and team have you placed around you to ensure that what you birth has the best chance of life, right? Do you have somebody who can grab the baby when it come out? If you know when you're having a baby, they want to have the pediatrician on site because they know about that certain thing, right? So your doctor is the OBGYN. She's worried about you.
Right.
The pediatrician is worried about what you're about to birth because I got to catch it. I got to make sure. And then your doctor has to make sure you're fine while that doctor has to make sure the baby's fine while the husband has to make sure you are good. Like everybody, right. Minding their own business. And so to be a good steward, right, mind the business that pays you. To be a good steward over yourself and over your dreams and over the visions that God has placed in you in order for you to become the creator that he called you to be, you have to be conscious about your team. You got to search around for the right doctor. You got to search around for the right labor and delivery coach. You got to search around for the right hospital. You have to search around for the right mate, right? Who you birthed in a dream with, who your baby daddy be. Who your baby mama be, right? Who's that spiritual talker? Who's the person who already had that baby, right? Who your community of friends be, who already had a baby, right? These are, just think of your dream the same way as birthing a baby. Because eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, nor has it entered into the hearts of men, right? What God can do through you when you choose you. And so it's being honest about what it is to labor for love. The love of what you're about to birth. How intentional you are about the community that is going to help you birth that baby, that dream, right? To be intentional about what it is that you're birthing. Hello, Mama. Good morning to you. Yes.
Good morning, Queen and King.
That part. Birthing team. Yes, right. We need a birthing team.
Need a team,
right? Who's your doula? Who's your, who teaching in Lamaze class? Who teaching you how to breathe through the pain? Because what Lamaze is telling you that I don't give a damn how hard it gets.
That part.
Either you gonna learn how to breathe through it, or you just gonna suffer. If you get too tense, if you do this, it's gonna make it harder. You have to embrace what you up against, right? And so, in order to birth that thing, you got to be honest with what you're up against, which is why you need people who have experienced. I'm going to tell you why me birthing, I think my first kid was way more easier than I had anticipated, is because they had me shook. I'm a person that don't do pain well at all. So I was shook. And I was even more shook of getting a needle on my back. So I knew that wasn't an option, right? I had to push through the pain. So I didn't take formal classes, but I am a TV buff. So I watched TLC. I worked The Birthing Story. At this point, I'm 20 years old. I had her mom shy of my 21st birthday almost, right? So I'm 20. I'm learning through what I learned to learn through, which is visualization. And so going through that is like teaching. And so it's like all of that thing matters. So when I went into labor, I'm sitting there, And my daughter, what the hell are you? I'm like, I'm breathing. But it helped me. Right? So it helped me because I prepared for those moments so that I can push past the pain because I knew I had no option. But I had a team around me, even a team that wasn't available in here. We are now in the world where you got YouTube University. When my daughter's like, I need you to braid my hair, I had to go to YouTube University. There's a team. So it's like, what are you trying to birth? What are you trying to birth? And what birthing team, right, Ma, did you put around you in order to ensure that that baby gets the best quality of life? What existence? Who's around? Who's the baby? Who's the pappy? Who the grandparents? Who the auntie and uncles? Did you do this is one that I'm working on, the dream showers, right? So when you're birthing a dream, you have the shower like a baby shower. So now it's, we know is this, you doing coming out with a line, coming out with this, you coming out with that, right? Well, I can host it. So it's like the vision board party where since everybody is now entrepreneurs and it's so hard and you want a community, so you can help financially, you can help with information, you can offer programs, but everybody knows the focus if it's a girl or a boy, right? And so now it's gender reveals, but now it's dream reveals, right? And so this is the dream I'm revealing. I have this much time to the launch. So that's like, are you pregnant with an elephant? Are you pregnant with a baby? That may be a 9-month launch. Are you pregnant with a dog? That may be a 90-day launch, right? So depending on what it is that you were in the time frame that you need, that's your pregnancy time. So this is a time from your reveal to the time that everybody's getting in position and you're planning to create a birthing team around you. These people who are going to be there when you go into labor, those people that are going to be the godmommy, right? Get a godmama for your thing. You got somebody who already done it, who actually too got insight, because when we think of God, we're thinking about insight. So you need a godparent for your business. You need somebody who's done it before, who has insight, who when you are tired, you know that they can come in and you trust them with your baby because you know that their heart posture is in the right place. So now I got a godparent for my business, right? So I'm thinking as I'm going, because that's how God be doing. But I think it's like, if we do it like that, then no weapons form. Why? Because I created a plan. God said, write the vision and make it plain. So imagine if you had dream birthing parties, you had labor teams, you knew how long you planned on being pregnant. You knew what, you know what I mean? That you knew you were gonna have cravings. You had to cut certain things out. If you are somebody who drank Pepsi or you smoked or all you knew that when you were pregnant, I don't care what type of lifestyle you had for yourself, when you were about to carry something that you wanted to birth, you knew you had to cut some stuff out, and maybe you can go back. Maybe you can have that glass of wine again. But over this period of time, I can't, because I had to let some stuff go so that I can ensure that my fetus makes it full turn. So even in that dream, sometimes I can't hang out, because when we go out, it's costing me $200 a weekend. So that means because I'm birthing a dream, I'm not hanging out. Maybe you could get 4 people to actually be the godparents in your friendship and say, well, every time you would go out, put that money in a jar and sow a seed into that. So when a baby grows up, guess what? That god baby gonna come back and serve everybody. Because you took care of it, it will take care of you, right? Essence will be like, what y'all need? You took care of it, it'll take care of you, right? That becomes your seed of things. So when you got it, you pour into, so that when that machine starts, it could come back. That's the circle of life, right? It's a give to receive. Everybody got a hand out. What have you put in? Have you put in to the birthing process? Have you put into the seed? Have you put in to the raising? Have you put in to the water? And have you been in to the nurturing? Have you put in to the harvest time when we had to pack it up? Have you put in to those nights when I was tired and I needed somebody to talk me into birthing this thing, right? Don't abort it. Keep the baby. God gave it to you, right? Sometimes they got to talk you into keeping it, because the way life is set up is like, I can't even imagine how I'm going to do this. Sometimes you got to imagine how you're going to do it by yourself. But God said you are never alone if you build a birthing team. So get a birthing team for your dream. Just as you get a birthday. Come on now. Get you a labor union. That part. The union of labor, right? And so, yes. It's our responsibility to not make excuses when God said, once I give you provision, that means I'll make you a professional in the vision I gave you. You'll treat it like you know what you're doing. That professional get on that thing, you can't, what? Please. LeBron, like, who gonna see me? Because God gave him provision. It didn't mean that God was gonna come down. He was gonna make you a professional in the vision that you had so that you would not quit. You would not start. You would make sure that you got everything you needed to birth this dream, to labor in love for what God has assigned to you, what he has entrusted in you, right? Entrusted. The trust is in you. He trusts you, you know?
Like you said, RFA, when you can get the assistance in your vision becoming reality, nice. That is nice. Yes.
And you can get the assistance if you choose wisely. We get to pick.
The decision.
We have to decide what to cut off. We have to decide.
That decision.
Yes.
Make wise decisions.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes we're so nice till we're mean to ourselves. I'm so nice to you, but I'm mean to me. Because I haven't been able to be honest with who's a good part of my team and who's not. So me being nice to you surrenders me showing up for me. And God said to love your neighbors as you have first loved yourself. So until I labor for me, how can I birth you? How can I do all of these things, right? And so I have to be honest with the process of giving birth.
Right.
And come on, let's be real.
Right.
Sometimes you might cuss out your mate when you were in labor. You ain't so nice to them. Because when that pain set in, it's scary, right? They said the closest you come to death is giving birth, right? And so it's so amazing to know that the right on the precipice of giving life is death, right? And so I gotta die to myself so that you can live. So you might have to die to the secret. You might have to die to the illusion. You might have to die to the process so that somebody else might live.
Die to self.
Die to self. In order to birth send seed. There you go.
Die to self to birth a new.
Right. To labor, right? To be in labor is to, go through the pain and the sacrifice of dying to self. I gotta share my body to give birth. I gotta share my mind. I gotta share my habits. I gotta be intentional to give birth. And so the question is, what are you intending?
Everything once that seed has been planted.
Come on now. Yeah.
Everything changes. You're very intentional with things now.
Your responsibility changes.
In order to birth that vision, that dream, whatever is planted inside of you. Yeah. Good morning, Facebook user. Good morning to you.
The birds. I'm chirping. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Good morning to you. Man, so this is Labor Day. Happy Labor Day. How are y'all gonna enjoy your Labor Day? What plans do y'all have today? Yeah. Where the barbecues at?
And what is your plan to labor in your dream?
That part.
Because we done labored in everybody else's life. And become how many times have you been? How many times have you been a doula? How many times have you been a doctor? How many times have you been a nurse? Come on, how many times have you been the father? Because the father don't get the same type of work as the mother. It's so much easier to drop the seed and then wait for the seed to drop out than it is to actually give up your life so that somebody else would live, right? So that's the nurturing of the process of having seed and birthing it. It is a very huge responsibility. Some take it way more serious than others, right? Because we already know that if you don't know your worth, it's hard for you to think about somebody else's. It doesn't matter what the process is, right? Because it's a mindset.
Yeah.
And if I don't change my mind, I don't change what I create or what I get, or what I'm gonna do.
Change your mindset, honey. Nothing changes.
So
Things remain the same.
It's very important that you understand every part matters. You know, you could pick a father that's not so good. You can pick a mom that's not so good. But you always have the option to be the best even after the pick.
I don't want the temptation. He was like, Lamont, if you got something to say, just say it. Because I am your father. So be my father.
So be my father.
He said, so what you got to say? Get it off your chest.
I mean, it's so true. It's so right. To let that thing, to birth that thing, to be able to let that thing go. And then you're going to have to raise it. Those are books I'm working on. Birthing a Dream and Raising It, taking you through each trimester. Because if anybody knows trimesters of birthing, it is
ages, honey.
Who knew that God would turn it into a whole series?
Yeah.
But I really believe that spirit imitates life. And when you go through the stages and you go through the way we commit to the things that we commit to, it's like, man, if you use that same concept in all other areas, you get the same results. Nothing is changing.
That's like the drug dealer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shit, that's a true business. Okay, you got a team. It ain't just you. It start off with just you, like any business.
I see you've been watching Power last night.
Girl, I ain't watched nothing last night.
Won't he do it?
Yeah. But I mean, it's the same concept. If you can use all that energy and all that risk and all of that for
use
that, you're running a
business.
Use your power. Use the same things for good.
Yes.
Same skills and labor and all of that. Risk and reward.
Risk and reward.
So yes, I mean.
But you gotta find a better way to do it.
Spend your time.
Well, I'd rather you risk the people who used to know you for the people who are waiting for you, right? Because what makes the story so good is the testimony.
And that's the thing. If you
being the evidence of change.
If you can find a team for something not good, you should find a team for something good.
I like that brown voice.
What's that? That one?
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. I'm more like
brown tinge.
Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm. Cute.
Where you got that from, Dyson?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I gotta find me some of those. I like
See, you got a little bit of a tint,
but
of course.
Yeah.
But, so when you wearing the brown, honey,
I ain't even wearing
put
brown.
Put that little brown on you. But yeah, like I said, it's yeah. Anyway, you guys, like we said, we were supposed to be here 30 minutes, and we're already coming up against the 45 because when we get to talking, honey, the conversations get to walking. It gets to taking its own toll. But I really want y'all to really think about that, right? And in this season, I mean, I'm in my second quarter of life. 1 to 25 is 1, 25 to 50. 25 to 50 is another 50 to 75 is another 75 to 100. So 4 quarters in life, the way I say it and break it down. When I'm teaching the course. So we're in the second quarter. Right? Mm-hmm. So I will be in the third quarter when 50 hits. So, I got 7 years to 50. You got 4 years to 50. So in the second quarter, it's about time to apply all of these lessons and turn them into our blessings, right? And so it's copy and paste. Copy and paste. Nothing is new under the sun. It's taking that concept and making it work for you in other areas of your life. Period, point blank. Mm-hmm. So that's why that whole concept about, what are you laboring for in your dreams? If you've ever seen somebody give birth, if you're here, you heard about birth. If you're an adult and you've been, given the privilege of having a child or being able to carry a child or being a part of the life of somebody who was carrying a child and to go through the stages, just think the dream is the same way. You got to go through the same things. And like I said, if you're birthing something different, it takes different time. So I love that they always bring that concept up because the elephant, 2 years. Right. We were just talking about that.
What are you carrying? Depends on what you're carrying.
A human is 10 months. They say 9 months, but you go up into any time in that 9 to that 10th month. For full term, that 40 weeks, you know what I mean? Then you have the dog. If I'm not mistaken, the dog is like 90 days, about 3 months, right? So everything has its own time span, And so our job is to be honest with the time we have. for the dream, and that we equipped ourselves to be able to birth it, that we sacrifice in the places that's going to force it to come to fruition, right? You want it to be manifested and you want to birth it, so you have to take care of it when it's in that uterine stage, when it's in those them beginning stages, right? The cycle of becoming an actual entity.
The beginning is the most detrimental.
And that's why they say keep it to yourself, but not forever, right? Because just think about it. You might not want to say when you first get pregnant, because that's that first trimester. You know, you don't want to have to say, oh, I lost. You don't have to go through that with everybody. So you are to keep it private at first when you just found out and you're not sure if it's gonna stay. So you wanna go through it yourself until you feel that comfort to be able to speak its name, right? To give it a energy, so that way if it doesn't make it or it doesn't manifest, you don't have to live with that, right? It's the same thing with your dream. When you say, oh, I'm with child, and then you have to come back and say, I've lost child. That is hard. You done said it, and now you have to take it back. And so that's a whole nother process. So that's, I think, why people are save themselves with their dream, right? Because it's like, I want to say it, but in the same breath, I'm scared because if I miscarry, then I have to go back and tell everybody the dream is not going to happen, right? This whole vision I gave is not, so wait until you are sure, till God has planted it in you in such a way that no weapons form, like come hell or high water, you will say and do that which was placed inside of you. You are committed to the assignment, right? And so when I got committed to the assignment, it was like, okay, I choose me #no. I'm committed to the work that I have to do. I'm committed to the mission, right? And so now I'm not afraid to share it, because now I've owned it. I took ownership of it.
No matter what you say, you are. But that's the word, committed. Once you decide to become committed, that's it. So no matter how long it takes, you willing to, good morning, boo.
Good morning, Pooh.
Good morning, boo.
I hope you feeling okay this morning. I'm sure you are sore.
Yeah.
Kia told me I was here when she was like, and I'm like, girl, she climbing up the walls, girl.
I'm like, girl.
We're gonna find, but we're talking about laboring for love, being able to birth a dream. And that so often we all, I know you have gone through the process of giving birth, so you know that whole process of getting a birthing team. And so you need a birthing team for your dreams. You need to find a doctor, soul doctor here. You need to find a nurse. I'm creating soul nurses, right? You need to be able to find a doula, somebody who can go and be with you every step of the way, because a doctor can't be everywhere and a nurse can't be everywhere. But that doula is committed to that time frame, right? You need godparents for the dream. Come on now. You need you need all this stuff to birth the dream. And so we want to know, are you laboring for your dream, and what team have you built around you in order to ensure that baby not only makes it into this world, but you get to raise it up, right? And so guess what we open up to health.
Wow. Okay. Right.
The word is health. So we're going to say, amen. It takes a community, a community team, commuted team.
Yes, it does. Absolutely.
Health. The world and its desires pass away, but whoever does the will of God lives forever. 1 John 2:17, right? That's that dream. That's the vision. God makes you creator. So when he gives you a thought, he says, I place everybody around you, right? And so this is health. I love it. Heal thy history. Good God Almighty, I forgot that I turn health into heal thy history. HEALTH. The T stands for thy, the H stands for history. So health is healing thy history in order to labor into your assignment, to give birth. Don't be wise in your own eyes. Have respect for the Lord and avoid evil. That will bring health to your body, and it will make your bones strong. Proverbs 3:7-8. I will never forget your commandments, for by them you give me life. Psalms 119:93. A happy heart is like good medicine, but a broken spirit drains your strength, right? Come on, that's your spiritual posture. And so be mindful that the happier you are, the more you receive, the cup half full instead of half empty. And once you think that cup is half empty, you got your F wrong. What the F is your mustard seed, faith or fear. So fear is that anxiety, it's that broken spirit, right? But a happy heart is faith, because no weapons form. I'm not even afraid. I just know I got to get in action for my attraction, and I can do whatever it is that I think.
All things.
That's all things. Come on now. A happy heart is like good medicine. I just want to say that again, but a broken spirit drains your strength. Proverbs 17:22. Healer. God is speaking. I need you. I know what you can do. I've read it and I've seen it. Today, I claim your healing. You know my need. The brokenness in body and spirit for which I pray is not news to you. You are intimately involved, waiting to intercede. I believe you, Lord. I know you can heal me. Boldly, I act for that healing today. What healing are you believing God for right now?
Come on now. That's
right. Remember,
on time, God.
What healing? What
heal
healing,
me
right?
Today, God.
Come on now. Health.
Have a successful healing.
Successful healing. So that's what laboring is all about, because everybody knows after you labor, you are open in your wounds. So your health is important, right? Your healing is about how you take care of yourself after you have opened yourself up, right? After you have made yourself available to birth that whole thing. You created a life. You created a dream. You birthed it. And now it is up to you to heal so that you can now take care of the dream that you birthed. So that was good. Health. Healed our history. Healed our history. So y'all know we getting these cards for you guys. Getting these I am cards, and we gonna let y'all go. Yes, God said y'all got an hour today. You get an hour today. We've been gone healing the world without smiles. Right here. We've been here.
With our good energy.
Our good energy. You have good energy today?
Good spirit.
Is choosing you forcing other people to want to choose you too? Everybody wants to be wanted. Okay. So without further ado, the I am. Oh man, we don't got Nancy on.
I don't know where she been. I've been sending it to her. I don't know where she been. Y'all ready?
So 1, 2, 3. I am original, I am light, and I am my Zen.
Ooh. Okay, now cards.
I am original, I am light, and I am, and I am my Zen. And I think that's so amazing for this labor, right? Because it's saying being able to labor into your dream. Being able to have a union, right? And so like Kia was saying, the actual definition was about labor union, people fighting for you. And so having an advocate in the hospital is what it's about. Having somebody that knows, having somebody who can fight for you, who wants the best for you. And so that's a part of your union. And so when you are creating these dreams, create a team around you that can support you, right? That can keep you in your Zen, so that you don't forget your win, right? That win is you. You want to stay original as you are laboring, right? Because that's why God chose you, for them to come through you, for the dream to come through you, because you had something original that it required in order to be birthed like only you can. So we know that Lay's potato chip and Wise plain potato chips and Great Value, they're all different. But it has its own originality that makes you choose it over something else. It's your favorite. So the more original you can be, the easier it is to remain somebody's favorite without trying. Because you don't got to try to be you. You just become you. You show up. And last but not least, I am light. Without light,
be the light.
Without light, there is no purpose. And so we came, when God said, let there be light, I always say, I think he was talking about me and you.
See them words?
Let there be light, right? So bring your light to everything. This was good.
These are lights.
This was good. So I hope you guys have a great Labor Day. You enjoy the replay. I thought we was gonna do 30 minutes, but then God just took over. I felt a shove in my bones. Must have been the coffee.
Y'all here with us, we here with you. So that's what it's about.
Thank God we ain't have nowhere to go.
Conversations, honey.
Oh, my man.
So,
my man. But anyway, remember, it is a relay race, and somebody is relying on you to turn your heartbeat into a soul beat in order to leave your soul print. Because the fingerprint tells us what you got wrong in this world, but the soul print, it tells us what you got right. And what God got right is you. So remember, we don't compete. Oh, no. We complete. And the difference between those two words is an L, and L stands for love, and love grows everything. So remember, you can never turn on anybody else's light, but you can provide enough light for them to find their switch. So stay lit in this world so somebody can find their way out of the darkness. It is your responsibility. Remember, that's the ability of measurement in which you can respond, and everybody has one. So without further ado, thank you for tuning in to Coffee and Conversations. So don't forget to wake up and make today count. Remember, love grows everything. So love yourself first.
Love your first self, honey.
Love your first self. I choose
love
me.
Love yourself first.
Love yourself
Put
first.
Put the mask on you first before you can help your neighbor.
I choose me. Hashtag no more excuses, because you were born enough. We'll see you back here on Wednesday. At 10. Have a great
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Have a good Labor Day. And don't labor too much. Know what you're fighting for. Know what you're birthing.
Save me a rib.
I'm done.